Thank you so much for joining us. You are watching Newsplus. Here's to hoping that you did have a restful weekend. My name is Faith Nyaude. Let's get straight into the stories making headlines tonight. Shoshone came alive today as more than 30,000 people from across the country gathered for two landmark events. The second edition of Munhumutapa Day, a celebration of President Emmerson Mnangagwa's 83rd birthday, and the commissioning of the Midlands Park housing project. Stay tuned for highlights from those two events as Zimbabwe celebrated history, nation building, and visionary leadership. An investment of $600 million United States dollars has been earmarked for the comprehensive overhaul of the national railway system, following talks between Zimbabwe and China. The move is expected to see the upgrading of the country's entire railway system, boost regional trade, and position Zimbabwe as a key logistics hub. Local businesses are looking at this prospect with glee and are ready to play their part. We shall also look at how men's poor health-seeking behavior, which experts say exposes mothers and children to HIV infection. Zimbabwe got their three-match T20I series against Namibia after a flying start with a comfortable 34 runs win at Queen's Sports Club. Now, we start off with the story on the context between the agreement between the Zimbabwean government and China, which is the China railway system, an issue that they want to collaborate and issues of logistics in the country. We're looking at the resuscitation that this could bring. In the following report, Mugove Chigada highlights how important the rail system is to the industrialization agenda and challenges that are being faced affecting economic growth in the process.
The World Bank has come to the conclusion that rail logistics sits at the crossroads of economic growth, job creation, and climate action. This, in many ways, sounds like a script from the 18th and 19th century. Rail was the backbone of the Industrial Revolution in Great Britain. And to date, in the UK, the entire rail sector supports around £43 billion in gross value added and creates about 710,000 jobs. Despite technological advancements in the world, the template remains relevant. That goods moved by rail in Zimbabwe has gone down from about 18 million tons per year in the 80s to about 2.3 million tons, paints a bleak picture. Against that background, the iron and steel industry in Zimbabwe is one of the sectors that has highlighted the importance of rail in completing the value chain.
Secondly, we prioritize rail revival and corridor logistics. In this regard, ladies and gentlemen, we need to prioritize steel and engineering inputs and exports within rail rehabilitation and key trade corridors to reduce costs.
The good news is that Zimbabwe's situation could now change.
It will save our roads, because currently the mining sector is moving its ore on the roads, damaging the roads. But once the railway line is sorted out, is developed, everything will change, and Zimbabwe can lower the cost of doing business and will become truly a logistics hub in the region.
The Memorandum of Understanding with the China Railway International on investment spearheaded by President Mnangagwa will change the game for the country and the SADC region. Milestones that could be achieved are better understood when you grasp the current situation. The Confederation of Zimbabwe Industries highlights that high transport costs impact Zimbabwe's competitiveness and hinder export growth, increasing the overall cost of doing business in the process. Now, this is interesting to note. At least 28% of all goods in bulk in the US are transported by rail. Neighboring South Africa plans to increase the rail share freight from around 25% to 45% by 2030. In Russia, rail moves bulk commodities in the vast country. The share market, however, fluctuates. Anna from Switzerland explains what rail transport means in her daily life.
So me, I am a regular user of the railway system. When I was still living in another town, I used it really every day to go to work, and it was very reliable. We could measure well your time, and we would always arrive at time.
Different economies have redefined the rail system. Switzerland, integrated and efficient. China, high-speed rail network. Japan, highly efficient and luxurious high-speed. The important question then is, do local companies have capacity to partner new investors?
Because at the moment we've got an order of railway trucks that we are manufacturing from scratch, about 60 of them. So what it means is that we've got the technical know-how, we've got the expertise, and we've got the people.
This business executive runs one of the leading companies in the manufacturing of wagons, among other related products. He believes with more affordable lines of credit, they can do wonders. Lawrence Nyazema says majority of infrastructure development across the world is done using patient capital and long-term savings. High inflation around the world, he says, impact on interest rates.
So the way forward is to achieve lower levels of inflation around the world so that global interest rates come down. And on our part is to improve our own economic fortunes so that the premium that we pay when we raise international funds comes down.
As stakeholders debate the railway resuscitation, President Mnangagwa has already set the tone, proving that finding new sources of capital and partnerships is part of the solution.
This is the top management of China Rail. It's a Fortune 500 company. It listed on 2 stock exchanges here in China. So it's a top drawer company, and we made the top management, and they're very serious about it.
As the country seeks to industrialize, one thing is clear. Rail is the lifeblood of the economy and the backbone of progress. But how the country navigates through challenges is the subject of today. But the conversation has to continue. For City in Prime, I'm Govech Gada in Harare.
Now let's turn our focus to our top story of this evening, where Shishani was the center of attention today, hosting 2 major events. President Emmerson Mnangagwa marked his 83rd birthday during the colorful Munhumutapa Day celebrations, while also commissioning the Midlands Park housing project, a multi-million-dollar development that has created thousands of jobs and new accommodation facilities. More in the following report.
Rishavane came alive today as more than 30,000 people from across the country gathered for 2 landmark events: the second edition of Munhumutapa Day, a celebration of President Emmerson Mnangagwa's 83rd birthday, and the commissioning of the Midlands Park housing project. The twin celebrations, held just a stone's throw from the President's rural homestead in Mapanzure, blended culture, history and development, turning the mining town into a hive of song, dance and national pride. The day has become a symbol of unity, pride and collective support for his leadership. More than 30,000 people, particularly youths, packed the open grounds in Mapanzure to celebrate cultural heritage and the progress made under the Second Republic. And the President had a special message for the multitudes.
True patriotism is putting our country first, protecting our culture, and defending the sovereignty that was won through the blood and sacrifice of our liberation leaders. Working hard in your chosen fields and rejecting all defeating tendencies that weaken our unity.
The President, flanked by the First Lady Auxilia Mnangagwa, and ZANU-PF Youth League Secretary Tino Machakaire later cut a giant birthday cake marking the milestone. What is a birthday without a cake? The day presented the president with an opportunity to create new memories, sharing each moment with everyone in attendance who came from diverse backgrounds.
We stand on the shoulders of that great legacy of Munhumutapa. This is the heritage that you, our young people, must continue to preserve, promote, and advance. In the era of rapid change, the historic Munhumutapa Empire social, economic, and governance system should also serve as a benchmark as we build a prosperous and empowered New Zimbabwe.
Munhumutapa Day, hosted on a rotational basis across provinces, was inaugurated in Masvingo last year. Today's edition in Nrishavane reinforced its significance as a platform for national mobilization, cultural pride, and youth empowerment. Earlier in the day, the President presided over the commissioning of the Midlands Park Housing Project, a multi-million-dollar development under the Public Service Pension Fund established in 2018 to provide security and sustainable retirement benefits for government workers.
Comrades and friends, it is commendable that more than 300 families and 750 students are benefiting from these transformational facilities made possible by the inclusive policies of the Second Republic.
The Midlands Park complex has transformed Nrishavane with 28 modern residential blocks, 4-story student flats accommodating over 700 students, fitted kitchens, separate metered water tanks, and individual solar power systems. More than 3,000 jobs were created during the construction, the majority taken up by locals, while upgraded roads, water and sanitation systems remain a lasting benefit to the community. The President and the First Lady toured the facilities, cut the ribbon, unveiled the plaque, and planted a Terminalia sericea tree, a lasting symbol of growth and resilience. The strides made by the President earned recognition from some opposition party leaders who commended the President for the infrastructural projects accomplished by the Second Republic despite having different political views.
As a nation, we may differ in politics, but we share one goal: a better Zimbabwe for all. We acknowledge that under his leadership, the Second Republic has delivered visible progress. The Harare Bridge Highway, rehabilitation, modernization of our international airport, and upgrades at the Bay Bridge border post, alongside efforts in agricultural and mining.
A birthday steeped in history and a housing project pointing to the future, both celebrated in Nrishavane today. Together, the two events highlighted President Mnangagwa's call for unity, resilience and development as Zimbabwe journeys toward Vision 2030.
Now, we're still staying with the Munhumutapa Day celebrations. President Mnangagwa turned 83 today. The birthday is being celebrated under the title Munhumutapa Day in honor of the numerous infrastructural projects completed under his tenure. The day is not only a celebration of history, but also of President Mnangagwa's legacy. Now, while the celebrations were in Nrishavane, the following story looks at how people in Harare marked this day. Our correspondent, Talin Gore, took to the streets and filed this report.
President Mnangagwa's birthday coincides with the Munhumutapa Day, which has become a unifying moment for Zimbabweans to reflect on progress while reaffirming their commitment to the national vision of attaining an upper middle income society by 2030. Messages of support and celebration for the president have also poured in, recognizing his leadership not only in steering Zimbabwe's transformation, but also in strengthening regional unity during his tenure as SADC chairperson. In Harare, people wish President Mnangagwa good health and prosperity.
Tichivapana dhatemu inotera futi pamberi kuti varambe vachitonga nokuti ndibaba vane gwara, ndibaba vanoziva kwatiri kuenda sevana vavo. Izvi takatasa munyika tine peace, zvasiyana nekumashure kuti dzimweni dzenguva vanhu vaigara vachingochidzirwawo zvekudai nokudari, but kubva panguva yababa Mnangagwa aiwa itsepete-tsepete zvinhu zvese zviri kufamba zvakanaka.
The president has become a symbol of national unity and pride and has played a key role in the transformation of Zimbabwe's development.
Saka tinokutendai baba, tinoti dai Mwari vakuchengetai, nokuti mukaenda imimi hatizotosara tiri papi. Muri leader adeliver, muri leader atirakidza muvono wokuti nyika inovakwa nevenhu vayo. Saka isusu tinokutsigirai zvakasimba. 2030 munenge muripo, tinoti dai Mwari vakuraramisai.
The occasion serves as both a celebration of his life and leadership and a renewed call for unity, patriotism, and collective responsibility in building the Zimbabwe envisioned under the Vision 2030.
Mutapa system yacho iripo iyoyo dai yaramba ichitwa revamp kuti irambe ichikura kuitira kuti isuwo tese tirambe tiri mugwara iroro, tichiramba tichirumbidza mabirthday vakuru, tichiramba tichirumbidza mafambiro atiri kuita munyika yedu zvichifamba zvakanaka. Ndinotenda zvikuru happy birthday, murambe makadero.
Munhumutapa Day has quickly established itself as more than a calendar event. It is now a platform where Zimbabweans rally behind their leader, reaffirm their heritage, and chart a collective path towards prosperity.
Tichifarawo nehappy birthday ravo ririko nhasi. Tinongoti dai Mwari avatungamirira, aramba achivawedzerawo makore, tichitongotenda kunyange nekutonga kwavari kuita mukati menyika ino. Zvakawanda zvavari kutiitira isu semawidows, kunyange nemimigwagwa yedu vari kutigadzirira zvakanaka.
Tinototi deno Mwari akukomborerai, machengetwa naMwari, maramba muchitiitirawo zvakanaka. Zvichemo zvetinenge tinazvo tatowana mukana wokuudzai.
We'll have a deeper analysis on the railway story we started the bulletin off with when Newsplus comes back after this.
The board, management and staff of the National Social Security Authority, NASA, extend our warmest birthday wishes to His Excellency the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa. We salute your visionary leadership and reaffirm our commitment to supporting your vision for a prosperous middle-income society by 2030. NASA, a lifelong promise.
Good evening and welcome to the greatest show on earth. This is a people's game. They will be bubbling about this one for weeks and months to come. Let's go!
Wherever you are, whatever your reason, it's on SuperSport all season long. Reconnect and stay connected to DSTV Compact and get the best football on us.
The board, management and staff of the Grain Marketing Board, GMB, extend our warmest wishes to His Excellency the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Dr. Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, on the occasion of his birthday. The GMB joins the nation in celebrating His Excellency, the President's life and his visionary leadership, which continues to inspire many. Under his guidance, the GMB remains steadfast in its commitment to ensuring national food security. His unwavering dedication to developing Zimbabwe's agricultural sector and steering the nation towards Vision 2030 is a source of immense inspiration. The GMB is honored to play a vital role in this national endeavor, contributing to the prosperity and well-being of all Zimbabweans. The GMB is grateful for the President's support in enhancing the organization's logistics and operations, including the handover of grain carriers, which directly contributes to the GMB's mission of ensuring national food security. May His Excellency the President be blessed with continued good health, wisdom and success as he leads Zimbabwe towards a brighter and more prosperous future. Happy birthday, Your Excellency. Congratulations. Makorokoto amhlope.
Welcome back. You are still watching Newsplus. Now, earlier on in the bulletin, we did start off with a story on how the railway lines, the MOU that was signed between Zimbabwe and China, could greatly benefit the issues of industrialization challenges, as well as the challenges that are currently being faced. Now, to just give us an overview of this MOU and its impact and adaptation into the country's transport system, specifically the railway operations, we are joined by Zimpepa's Group Political Editor, Ranga Mataire, who is in China. Ranga, good evening, and thank you so much for joining us. Now, in the context of the agreement that was between Zimbabwe, the Zimbabwean government, as well as the China Railway International, how is this going to influence the country's economic growth?
I would say that the MOU is a game changer in terms of its impact on the manufacturing and infrastructure sectors. A railway has the capacity to enhance our industrial and economic capacity as a country. A railway will streamline a lot of things. It will streamline the movement of people, but it will also fundamentally impact and streamline the movement of raw materials, finished goods, and reducing cost and delays. So this is a huge thing, which is a huge agreement, which, if followed to the letter, is likely to have an impact on President Mnangagwa's aspirational vision of having an upper middle income society by 2030. You might be aware that the MOU is tied to a US $533 million investment, and definitely this investment is going to impact on and create jobs during construction and operation. But beyond the rail, it will also stimulate manufacturing activities like steel production, railway parts, and refurbishment. So there is likely to be a huge impact if the MOU is followed to the letter.
Now, Ranga, we're looking now into the future. In what ways could Zimbabwe's rail development now, under the Belt and Road Initiative, enhance regional integration? Now, we're talking within the SADC region, and boost trade. We're considering examples from countries like South Africa and Switzerland that do have efficient rail systems.
Definitely, it is going to impact on the region. My humble submission will be that there is need to form some kind of a regional, steel and railway energy and fuel pipeline union, which will have Zimbabwe, South Africa, and Mozambique. There is need for China to become a technology partner in this initiative. Southern Africa holds the world's largest ferrochrome, 85% of it, vanadium and manganese resources, which are critical, specialty in steel alloy production. So I think there is need to think along those lines. Zimbabwe is at the center of the Southern African region, and if its railway system is developed, it will then become a manufacturing hub for steel. So this will also augur well in terms of what President Mnangagwa has been advocating for during his chairman of SADC, that we need to integrate the region, that we need beneficiation, and that we need to connect each other and trade within each other. So this will also enhance intra-trade if our railway system are efficient and connected.
Ranga, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you so much for your time. That's Ranga Mataire, Zimpepa's Group Political Editor. We're just talking about the MOU that are signed between China and Zimbabwe in terms of improving the railway system. Now, let's talk about health matters. Despite significant progress in the country's HIV response over the years, poor male health-seeking behavior is threatening to reverse the gains that have been made. With an HIV prevalence estimated to be around 10.5% in 2023, a decline from 12.7% in 2019, the country has been using both biomedical and behavioral interventions in its response. We get more in this report from Michelle Kanguru, who was recently in Gokwe, on how the country is using male engagement as a strategy for behavioral change.
The male engagement program has made significant strides in the fight against HIV in the country. One of its objectives is to ensure that 90% of boys and men at risk of HIV are reached with a package of HIV combination prevention by 2025. However, women say their husbands avoid visiting the clinic, even for basic health care, and worse still, refuse to know their HIV status.
nana baba panyaya kudzivirira iyi vana baba havadi kuinda kana vana baba mai vachiti handei tinonyoresa pamwedzi wokutanga uya havadi vanoramba kuti kwai inda woga kana iwangu bakwa chirwere ichocho ndechangu ndichako ndichangu ndotogozwa kuti neniwo ndinacho chivuyai muchipuwa mapiritsi aya vanotosvoda kuinda kunopuwa futi mapiritsi aya.
Late and non-booking for antenatal care for pregnant women puts unborn children at a high risk of HIV. Focal AIDS coordinators in the Gokwe South District say that it is important for men to accompany their wives when they are registering their pregnancies. This ensures that both parents are aware of their status on time.
Amona kungwara kwamakaita. Saka zvamauya kudai nhasi ndafara zvokuti kuti munoudza vamwe venyu kuti yako haizi yangu. Yako ndeyako, yangu ndeyangu. Status. Nokuti inogona kuita positive, imweta negative. Imogana kuita positive ndeta negative. Atoti ma discordant couples. Takuchidzidziswa kuti zvati mumwe zvari negative, mumwe ari positive. Torarama sei.
Community health workers in the district are playing a critical role in bridging knowledge gaps through health literacy and education in the community.
Saka tichikurudzira kuti uyai makabatana nepatina yenyu kuti tidzivirire kuti mwana watinozopuwa asave anotapurirwa utachiona. Vana baba nana mai vari kuita sevari kunzwisisa.
In the mining district of Shurugwi, artisanal miners are one high-risk group who barely seek out medical attention. The National AIDS Council's various district AIDS coordinators have been tasked with ensuring that information on HIV is not only disseminated to girls, but to boys and men as well.
We recruit them, we further disseminate information that relates to HIV and AIDS and ensure that they access the services. So we need to bridge a gap. Because of late, most HIV and AIDS programs have been targeting women, leaving the boy child behind.
Unless men begin to prioritize their health and seek timely testing and treatment, the fight against HIV will remain an uphill battle, putting not only themselves, but their partners and future generations at risk. For ZTN Prime in Harare, I'm Michelle Kanguru.
Now, what better way to start your week than to be prepared for what the weather is going to be looking like? We are now crossing over to James Goma, the Met Services Department's Chief Forecaster. James, good evening, and thank you so much for joining us. If you could just quickly give us a forecast of the week ahead.
Thank you very much. We've had an interesting start to the week where we had a bit of isolated hailstorms in areas such as your Swaziland and Lesotho areas. But in Zimbabwe, we haven't had much in terms of moisture, where just brief cloudy periods have been realized because of cloud bands that are establishing over Botswana into the interior of the country. These are causing rather humid conditions across the western parts of the country, but nothing significant in terms of moisture. We're still expecting a bit of northeasterly airflow across much of the country. But as we get into Thursday, these winds should shift into a southeasterly, where we're expecting brief cloudy periods in areas such as your Chirezi district, Chipinge, as well as Beitbridge districts. But in terms of meaningful rainfall, we're still watching out for the later parts of September. We were expecting just isolated showers as well.
So, James, when the isolated showers do come, should farmers then start preparing for the summer cropping season?
Thank you very much. That's a very interesting question, because we've got a number of variety of crops that can be placed under irrigation at this point in time, noting that in December we're expecting very significant rainfall across much of the country. So those rains might not be very conducive for the farmer to even go into the field to till their land. So this is the best time to start preparing your lands. Where possible, plant as early as possible if you've got access to irrigation. But for those that have got rain-fed, make sure that your crop is at a stage where it needs adequate amounts of rainfall when we reach the month of December.
Well, James, thank you for that weather update. James Ngoma, Chief Forecaster with the Met Department. You are watching Newsplus. We'll be back shortly.
The Minister of Local Government and Public Works, Honorable D. Garwe, Deputy Ministers, Honorable Engineer B. Kabikira, and Honorable A.T. Mavunga. The Permanent Secretary, Dr. J. Basera, management and staff join the nation in extending our collective congratulations to His Excellency the President of Zimbabwe, Dr. E. D. Mnangagwa, on the occasion of his 83rd birthday. Your Excellency, as we celebrate this admirable life milestone of your birthday, we are reminded of your sacrifice, tireless diligence, honor, and servant leadership that have become a hallmark of your leadership. The legacy of nation building that you continue to bequeath to the nation has set Zimbabwe on an unstoppable path to prosperity. As a ministry, we are inspired and honored to serve under your leadership. May this day bring you everlasting joy, strength, wisdom, good health, and abundant blessings. Congratulations, Ma Korokoto Amhlope. Happy birthday, Your Excellency. Happy birthday, Shumba Murambwi. We wish you many more. The Minister of National Housing and Social Amenities, Honorable Jemu Soda, the Deputy Minister, Honorable Musa Ngube, the Permanent Secretary, Engineer Kudzanai Chinyanga, together with the entire management and staff of the ministry, join His Excellency the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Dr. Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, in celebrating his 83rd birthday. On the joyous occasion of your 83rd birthday, we extend our warmest wishes and heartfelt congratulations. May this significant milestone be a celebration of your remarkable life, steadfast leadership, and unwavering commitment to the progress and prosperity of our great nation. Your visionary leadership continues to shape a modern, resilient Zimbabwe. In particular, your championing of a thriving built environment has paved a transformative path towards sustainable rural and urban settlements delivery, ensuring dignified living conditions for all. The bold initiative under your direction to deliver 1 million housing units by 2025 stands as a testament to your dedication to inclusive growth and national development. It reflects a profound commitment to uplifting communities and creating lasting opportunities through well-structured progress. As we honor your legacy today, we celebrate not only the years you have lived, but also the wisdom, courage, and determination you have consistently demonstrated in steering Zimbabwe towards the realization of Vision 2030. May you be blessed with many more years of good health, wisdom, and continued success in advancing the aspirations of the people of Zimbabwe. Happy 83rd birthday, Shumba Murambwi.
Welcome back. You are still watching Newsplus right here on ZTN Prime. Now, the Eye Institute, in partnership with Old Mutual, has launched a countrywide program aimed at tackling preventable blindness. This year alone, the organization is targeting to conduct at least 350 eye surgeries, focusing mainly on cataracts and other controllable eye conditions. The initiative comes as Zimbabwe continues to grapple with limited access to specialized eye care, particularly in rural and marginalized communities. Health and Child Care Minister Douglas Mombeshora commended the Eye Institute for complementing government efforts to improve access to specialist health services.
Looking ahead, government is committed to doing its part, but we recognize that no one can do it alone. Private partnership, such as the one we have witnessed today, are vital to ensuring healthcare services are accessible, sustainable, and inclusive. Old Mutual and the Eye Institute have shown that the private sector can step forward with resources, expertise, and innovation to complement government efforts.
In a speech that was read on behalf of Old Mutual Zimbabwe Group CEO Sam Matsekete, Crispin Zingirai said their goal is to ensure that no one loses their sight due to conditions that can be treated or prevented.
The success of the pilot program has motivated us to scale up the initiative in 2025. So far, we have completed screenings in Harare, focusing on Machipisa, Glenora, and Mavuko, which are long-established suburbs where we believe most elderly reside.
Now, we're still talking about goodwill. The World Food Programme has donated a vehicle to the Jaros Jiri Association. The vehicle, a 16-seater Toyota Hiace, is set to help the students through accessibility and facilitating their participation in community events. Country Director for the World Food Programme, Barbara Clemens, said the plight of Jaros Jiri was brought to them by the Diplomatic Spouses Association of Zimbabwe, and they visited the center to conduct an assessment. Clemens said they have provided the association with food aid and also helped the teachers with support. World Food Programme donates vehicle.
It was brought to us by the Diplomatic Spouses Association of Zimbabwe. And based on that, we came and physically did an assessment and determined needs. And we are providing food. It's a very small amount compared to what we would normally do. For example, last lean season, we assisted approximately 1.1 million people. Assisting a school like Jaros Jiri is nothing. With food left over, we could assist this. To answer your question, is it sustainable? It's very sustainable. And I think that what we are leveraging is our goodwill in contexts like these and our contacts beyond donors, but the private sector and individuals who want to give. I think our role will be keeping Jaros Jiri and their need on not only WFP's radar, but also the radar of others that can provide assistance.
Now, still speaking at the same ceremony, the president of Jaros Jiri Association, Alva Senderai, held the World Food Programme, saying that the donation will go a long way in addressing the transport problems affecting the center. Dr. Senderai said that the World Food Programme is supplying aid to their 7 centers and is hopeful that the collaboration will go a long way in promoting social inclusion.
As we gather to celebrate the handover of a vehicle towards the Jaros Jiri Association, courtesy of World Food Bank, World Food Programme. But I would also want to go an extra mile. I think we had Madame Clemens indicating that they are in 70 countries. But I would also want to underscore the fact that amongst our 7 service centers, they provide food. This magnificent gift is not merely a gift, it embodies the spirit of collaboration and the unwavering commitment of the World Food Programme to our shared vision.
Now, across our borders in Malawi, they are set for one of the most closely watched elections in recent history as voters head to the polls on Tuesday, with all systems go for a presidential contest that could see former leaders attempt dramatic political comebacks against President Lazarus Chakwera. Now, over 7.2 million registered voters are set to cast their votes in this general election that is expected to determine the presidency, 229 members of the National Assembly, and over 500 local government councillors. Former Presidents Peter Mutharika of the Democratic Progressive Party and Joyce Banda are among the 17 candidates that are seeking a ticket to the State House. In Zambia, a court has sentenced 2 men to 2 years in prison for attempting to use witchcraft to kill President Hakainde Hichilema. Zambian Leonard Phiri and Mozambican Justin Mabuluse Kanduse were convicted under the Witchcraft Act after being arrested in December with charms in their possession, including a live chameleon. The case has been closely followed in Zambia, as this was the first time anyone was ever put on trial for attempting to use witchcraft against a president. The prosecution alleged that Phiri and Kandunde were hired by a fugitive former MP to bewitch the president. Now, despite their insistence that they were bona fide traditional healers, the court found them guilty on 2 counts under the Witchcraft Act. After the break, we take a look at some money matters. Stay with us.
Got some questions about Showmax? Well, we've got the answers. What is Showmax? Showmax is not a TV channel. It's a streaming service with tons of hit series, movies, and more. Plus, Premier League live on mobile. Just pick what you want and hit play. No schedule or airing times. With Showmax, you watch what you want, when you want, and where you want. For any other queries, find us on Facebook, X, Instagram, or TikTok.
The Minister of Lands, Agriculture, Fisheries, Water and Rural Development, Honorable Dr. Anxious Jongwe Masuka, Deputy Ministers, Honorable Davis Marapira, and Honorable Vangelis Haritatos, Permanent Secretary Professor Dr. Obed Jiri, Chief Directors, Heads of Parastatals and Ministry and Parastatal staff congratulate you, Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Dr. Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, on the occasion of your 83rd birthday. We wish you, Your Excellency, good health and abundant wisdom as you lead the country to ensure perennial food security and sovereignty towards the cherished Vision 2030, becoming a prosperous, empowered, and food-secure society. Food security everywhere, every day. The Minister of Home Affairs and Cultural Heritage, Honorable Kazembe Kazembe, Deputy Minister, Honorable Chido Sanyatwe, Secretary for Home Affairs and Cultural Heritage, Ambassador R.T. Faranisi, Senior Management and staff joined the President, His Excellency, Comrade Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa, the First Lady, Amai Auxilia Mnangagwa, their family and the nation, in His Excellency's celebrating his 83rd birthday. His Excellency, Comrade Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa's life journey of unwavering dedication and sacrifice to the liberation of our motherland and subsequently its sustained peace and development, and ensuring that it is a respected and active participant at the global stage is highly treasured. As the nation celebrates this special day, we should all synchronize our energies to ensure that we achieve our vision of a prosperous Zimbabwe. May the Almighty God continue to bless the President, His Excellency Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa, with many more years of good health and wisdom as he continues to lead the nation. Happy birthday, Murambwe. Ministry of Home Affairs and Cultural Heritage, sustaining a secure and peaceful environment.
Welcome back. You are still watching Newsplus. Thank you so much for staying with us. Now we turn our attention to some business news, where Zimbabwe's participation at the Intra-African Trade Fair in Algiers recently has been held a success, with local companies securing new trade opportunities. With record-breaking deals worth $48.3 billion, the show hit above its target. It was supported by Zimtrade exhibitors who showcased agro-processed goods, leather products, and tech solutions, attracting strong interest from buyers across the continent. Now, at the country's pavilion, Karen Mukwedea, communications officer from Zimtrade, took visitors through a vibrant showcase of amazing goods Zimbabwe had to offer. The stand drew strong interest from continental buyers, with exhibitors walking away with promising trade leads. Zimbabwe's participation highlights its potential to compete under the African Continental Free Trade Area.
Hello everyone, my name is Karen and I am a communications officer at Zimtrade, and I'm here to show you the Zimbabwe Pavilion at the International Inter-Africa Trade Fair 2025. Come, let's go through it. When you come here, the first thing you'll see is a big screen showing a lot of Zimbabwean products, as well as Zimbabwean attraction places like the Victoria Falls and a lot more. We have about 25 companies here on our stand, all of them doing various things, including leather bags. Come this way. RNL Foods, Golden Harvest. As you can see, it's a lot of activity. Come through to the back here and I will show you another interesting area at the Zimbabwe stand. Here is our tasting bay. We've got a lot of Zimbabwe's beautiful, beautiful products that we are, we're letting everyone experience them. This is including our famous chili, Dr. Trouble, the mazoe over there, and some snacks as well. We also wanted to give a real feel of the Zimbabwe and give people a proper Zimbabwean experience. So here we have a VR set booth where you can see everything from the Victoria Falls to the Zambezi National Park, everything that has to do with Zimbabwe's precious and most beautiful areas.
Still in business, gold production has recorded strong growth in August, with deliveries to the country's sole authorized buyer, Fidelity Gold Refinery, reaching 4,189 tons. That's a 22.6% year-on-year increase compared to the 3,418 tons that were produced in the same period last year. Now, the surge is largely attributed to the continued dominance of artisanal and small-scale miners, who delivered 3,249 tons in August of 2025. That's a growth of 36% from their 2.39 tons in the same period last year. Now, the strong performance of artisanal and small-scale miners underscores their critical role in the country's gold mining industry, accounting for nearly 78% of August total output. Still on some minerals, Zimbabwe's platinum output increased by 9% year-on-year to 137,000 ounces. That's in the second quarter of 2025, driven by increased capacity from Newsplus smelter expansion. Increased smelter capacity at the country's largest platinum miner allowed the country to draw down on semi-finished inventory accumulated during the commissioning phase. The output was a groundbreaking achievement, representing a quarterly all-time high performance in the country's platinum production, which solidifies Zimbabwe's position as a major platinum producer. Now we take a look at some entertainment news. Now, entertainment, we start off with a story about Baba Harare, who's, after 2 years away, the godfather of GT, is back. This November, history is being made in Birmingham. This is going to be Baba Harare's first UK headline show since his return to GT. Fans are expected a live performance of the new album, some classic anthems, DJs, and non-stop Zimbabwean vibes. And all roads lead to Gresham Grounds in Rishavane tonight for the Munhumutapa Gala. Now, the gala, which coincides with President Mnangagwa's birthday, will parade an array of stars who include Sulumani Chibetu, Mark Ngwazi, Chief Wenje, Peter Moyo, Sandra Ndebele, Andy Murizo, Dorcas Moyo, Enzo Aisha, Pumakol, as well as Pastor Charamba and his wife Olivia. Botswana's finest entertainer, Vima Mpizi, is also set to grace this event. And now we take a look at some sporting action.
This is a people's game. They will be bubbling about this one for weeks and months to come. Let's go!
Wherever you are, whatever your reason, it's on SuperSport all season long. Reconnect and stay connected to DSTV Compact and get the best football on us.
In a world where music transcends boundaries, where rhythm and melody unite the hearts of people, comes a show that celebrates the power of music like never before. Get ready to dive into a sonic journey that will leave you mesmerized and yearning for more. Welcome to the captivating world of Z Vibes. Vibe to it, baby.
Harare. Tune into the beat.
Capitalk 100.4 FM, your source for news, business, sports, fashion, and more.
Experience the pulse of Harare's culture and lifestyle.
Capitalk 100.4 FM, Harare's top radio station.
Join the conversation with Zimbabwe's top personalities.
Subscribe now for fresh and infotainment content daily.
Capital 100.4 FM, Harare's heartbeat.
Welcome back. You are still watching Newsplus. Now we now look at sports tonight. Zimbabwe beat Namibia by 34 runs to take a 1-0 lead in their 3-match T20 International Series at Queen Sports Club in Blayo on Monday. Batting first, the Chevrons posted an impressive 211 for 3, with Brian Bennett top scoring with a crisp 94 off 51 balls. Tadiona Shimarumani picked up where he left off against Sri Lanka, putting up 62 runs to make it back-to-back half-centuries. In reply, Namibia were restricted to 178 for 7 in their 20 overs. Chevron's captain Skandaraza was the pick of the bowlers with 2 for 31, while Blessing Muzarabani had 2 for 38. The second T20 International is on Tuesday at Queen's Sports Club. In football, Moors continued their revival with a narrow 1-0 win over Tel 1 at Ascot in Gweru on Saturday. Valentine Katsande's cross deflected off Frank Makarati's late in the match as the Panthers made it back-to-back wins, coming out of a 6-match winless run that had dented their title hopes. The win moved the Panthers to within 6 points of log leaders Simbabora, who played out a goalless draw with Scotland at Wadzanai. Moors coach Lloyd Mtaza praised his team's fighting spirit on the road, while insisting their goal is now to settle for a top 4 finish.
It was another tough encounter. You play T1 at their home ground. Hebert Maroa being a good coach. Obviously, we expected a tough encounter, and tough it was. But fortunately enough, we managed to score from the few chances that we got, and that made the difference. I think we wanted to solidify the defense, but at the same time pushing forward. And you see Vale was out for 3 weeks, and to give him a start, you know, it was going to be a difficult task. But these youngsters, they believe that the few minutes that you play, your contribution is what we look at. Yeah, I think a game of football, we're happy we collected 3 points, and I'm happy that probably we are getting back to where we started, getting back to winning ways, where it matters most. And we just hope and pray that the youngsters keep their feet on the ground, keep working, and who knows.
Now, Tel 1, on the other hand, have now lost their last 3 home matches, a run of form that left head coach Herbert Maroa frustrated.
Yeah, it's tough luck. Again, we lost points at home. After having won the last 2 games away from home, we need to make sure we keep on working hard and keep on giving pressure. The teams on the top, but we need to make, as a team, very disappointed with the way we conceded, but it's part of the game.
Now, another PSL results from games that were played on Saturday. Ngezi Platinum Stars beat PC Kariba 2-0 at Nyamunga to make it 3 wins in a row as they continue to close the gap to the top. Mandinga Diamonds eased their relegation worries with a 2-1 win over Green Fuel. Bikita Minerals frustrated Yada's survival bid with a 1-0 win at the Hart Stadium to leave the Miracle Boys sweating in the drop zone. Chigenin got back on track with a 2-0 win over Kwekwe United, while Dynamos and Triangle played out a goalless draw at Rufaro Stadium on Sunday. Now, there were no changes at the summit, with Simbabwe and Scotland dropping points, but holding fort to open a slight chance for the chasing pair of Moors and Ngezi Platinum Stars in the title race. In the capital, Edenters played out a goalless draw with Caps United at Rufaro. At the bottom of the table, Kwekwe United became the first team to be relegated following their defeat to the Gamecocks. With 6 rounds of action remaining, the Gold Boys are stranded on 10 points and will not survive even if they win all their remaining matches. Teams sitting between number 9 and 17 remain locked in a fierce battle for survival, with 3 slots still to be decided. Now some athletics. Zimbabwe's long-distance runner Isaac Mpofu continued to impress on the global stage with a commendable 10th place finish in the men's marathon at the 2025 World Athletics Championships in Tokyo, Japan this Monday. Mpofu ran a season's best time of 2 hours 10 minutes and 46 seconds, adding on to his growing profile after another good showing at the Paris Olympics last year. Countryman Tendai Zumutu finished a distant 61st in the marathon, while Ashley Miller was eliminated from the women's 400-meter hurdles after finishing 8th in her heat. Wimbai Maishorewa finished 7th in a women's 400-meter race and was also eliminated. Up next, sprinters Makanaka Ishe Charamba and Tapiwa Nashi Makarao will race in the heats of the men's 200 meters on Monday. Still in sports, Zimbabwe are out of the ongoing CAF Under-17 African COSAFA qualifier after losing 3-2 to Comoros in the final group game at Ngoni Stadium in Norton on Monday. The young Warriors fought back from a goal down to lead 2-1 before Comoros turned the match on its head with 2 unanswered goals that saw them finish with 7 points at Hart Stadium in Waterfalls. Mozambique beat Eswatini 4-0 to finish top of Group A on goal difference. Comoros finished second and can still progress as the best placed runner.
It's tough luck to the nation for exiting too early. But I think it should be a lesson learned for future tournaments. You saw the games. You saw the goals that we conceded. Just look at the 3 goals that we conceded. Even social players can defend those goals. The truth of the matter is we are discovering some of the qualities of these players here. That's a fact. I can't run away from that.
Well, that's all we had for you on Newsplus this Monday evening. Thank you so much for making the time and for joining us. My name is Faith Nyaude. We leave you with the weather forecast. Good evening and enjoy the rest of your viewing.